Her real name's Miley Cyrus. She was the hottest concert ticket of the year. If you have a daughter, you know who Hannah Montana is. And to all the sons and daughters out there watching, Merry Christmas from all of us here in San Diego. Denver won the toss and will receive. And since Tampa Bay returned to kickoff last week, the Broncos have the longest current streak in the NFL without one. 121 games back to the year 2000. It is Christmas Eve. We've never had a Christmas Eve evening game in the history of the NFL. But they are rocking the cue tonight. Great turnout in San Diego. Glad you're with us as Nate Keating kicks off. And for the last time on a Monday night this year, off we go from San Diego. Kick is short. Wide receiver Glenn Martinez has room, and Martinez, who had a punt return for touchdown on our Monday night a month ago in Denver, is tackled by the kicker Keating. But great field position for the Broncos at their own 47-yard line. So here comes Jay Cutler out of Vanderbilt, the second-year man who, gotta say it here, is from Santa Claus, Indiana. And we'll talk more about that town a little bit later on. But Cutler, in his first full year as a starter, hasn't missed a start and has done pretty well overall.
Yeah, very important that the Denver Broncos get off to a fast start. They got blown out earlier this year in Denver. They must put that behind them.
Rookie Selvin Young, the running back, drive start from their own 47. Young left. Just a couple of yards on the play. Igor Olshansky out of Oregon makes the tackle.
We're going to talk more about Santa Claus, Indiana later.
Yes.
Do you have something that I'm not aware of? Do you have the entire history of any of the JCs coming tonight?
Cutler told us last night what Santa Claus, Indiana is like on Christmas Eve. So that.
Okay.
We may even show you Santa Claus, Indiana later on.
How great would that be? I hope it's decked out in red and white. I hope so.
No Brandon Stokely for the Broncos tonight. Their wide receiver out with his knee injury. Selvin Young, the former Texas Longhorn, just shy of the 41-yard line. First down and a tackle made by Marlon McCree. He's a free agent. He's a rookie. Went undrafted in large part because of a knee injury a couple of years into his Texas career. He was overshadowed by a bunch of running backs at Texas, but his impact in the NFL has been very impressive when you look at his 5.5 yards per carry. Adrian Peterson, Marshawn Lynch, only rookie running backs better than Young thus far this year. In Charger territory from the 41, it is Cutler down the seam. It's the tight end Scheffler for a first down, just shy of the 20. Clinton Hart made the tackle, and why not Scheffler at this time to introduce us to the rest of the Broncos offense.
On the left side, we have second-year man, the pride of Anchorage, Alaska, Chris Cooper. And next to him, the old man of the group, Matt Lepsis. On Christmas Eve, from Santa Claus, Indiana, our leader, quarterback, Jay Cutler. And behind him, the two-headed monster, Travis Henry, and the rookie, Selvin, I Ain't Too Young. And finally, at wide receiver, we have Brandon, You Can't Tackle Me, Marshall.
An illegal use of hands penalty in the secondary decline. Great opening march after the good kick return for the Broncos. From the 21, here is Young, gets about 3 to the 18-yard line. Jamal Williams, such a huge part of the middle of that defensive line for San Diego, is out tonight. The Pro Bowler missing with his ankle injury, so Olshansky makes another tackle.
Mike, so important that the Broncos establish the run, because Jay Cutler is an outstanding play-action quarterback. If he can hold those linebackers for a split second, hold those safeties inside for a split second, the big plays will open up down the field as Cutler moves outside the pocket.
Second down throw is a bit behind Marshall, who has 21 catches the last 2 weeks. The coverage from Stephen Cooper before the defense tries to come up with a 3rd and 7 stop. Here's linebacker Sean Phillips to tell you who they are.
Happy holidays to everyone from the San Diego Chargers here on Monday Night Football. We're bringing to you an old-fashioned football game. We got a conference rival coming into our house trying to take a victory from us. We're not trying to have that, though. We're going to hit them in the mouth every single play and impose our will on them and show everyone why we're the AFC West champions.
For Marty, a Pro Bowler, Jammer's been very good this year without the stats to show for it. 3 receivers, Walker, Martinez, and Marshall. Cutler steps up, lost the football. And the Chargers have recovered with Merriman at the bottom of the pile. Igor Olshansky forced the hit on Jay Cutler, who was often prone to fumbling it. Chargers will take over. San Diego, the Chargers take advantage of the first turnover. Start from their own 15 with LaDainian Tomlinson. Tackled by John Lynch and DJ Williams. The game was 3, Tony.
Here's what happened. Denver loses the ball. Jay Cutler now 17 fumbles in 20 games. He's a great passer, but he gives up the ball too much. This is the story of their season. They move the ball, and they never score. 6th in total offense, 17th in scoring. That's why they're 6-8, because they don't put the ball in.
And that fumble number is quite high. 17 fumbles in 20 games. Anything just under 1 is about as high as you'll find from the quarterback.
Dimas DeMilo here.
2nd and 7. And the Phillip Rivers pass complete to Vincent Jackson, who picks up a first down at the 27. Nate Webster and Champ Bailey the tackle. The gain was 8 for Rivers in his 2nd year as the 3rd year as the Chargers starting quarterback. 4th year in the league out of NC State. Of course, when he came here, Drew Brees was already here, had those 2 years as a starter. Then Brees moves as a free agent to New Orleans. And Rivers, who was a 4-year starter at North Carolina State, takes over the 14-2 season last year. And then this season, the early struggles. But he has stabilized a bit as he's gotten used to Norv Turner's offense. And the offensive line has played better in the last 3 quarters of the season. And here is Tomlinson, who will take the NFL rushing lead with that carry as he goes out of bounds across the 35 and to the 36-yard line. A pickup of 8 for Tomlinson, who was the MVP of the league last year and led the league in rushing, and he's going to have a chance with those 2 slow games Adrian Peterson has had and the injury to Willie Parker of Pittsburgh to win another rushing title.
Yeah, and as you watch LaDainian Tomlinson tonight, you will see him run predominantly to the left side, about a 2-to-1 ratio running left as opposed to the right, behind Marcus McNeil, Chris Steelman, of course the center, Nick Hardwick, and Brandon Manumaluyuna, that blocking tight end.
Tomlinson walled off to the left, the cut back to the right. Off the tackle of Abdullah and Webster across midfield and a first down for LT. The gain was 16.
They showed a graphic before that LaDainian Tomlinson had 14 touchdowns, that leads the NFL. He had 28 last year. He's leading the NFL with 14. He had 28, Jaws.
The amazing Tony you see right there is the great vision of LaDainian Tomlinson. The play designed to go to the left side, kind of a wishbone backfield. All of a sudden he sees one defensive lineman break down his gap discipline. Wham, he's right through that gap.
Chris Chambers traded from Miami for a 2nd-round pick earlier this year. In motion, here's LT on the swing out. That was a forward pass, and it's an incomplete pass. Here's the center, Nick Hardwick, to introduce us to the Chargers starting lineup.
Thanks, Mike. With the offensive line, he'll be the one that looks like a blind dog in a meat market, Pro Bowl guard Chris Steelman. Joining him at wide receiver will be Chris, thank you, Wayne Huizinga, Chambers. At tight end, you can't stop him. You can only hope to contain Antonio Gates. The toughest quarterback in the NFL, Palsy McRiverson. And hitting finger rolls in the back of the end zone all night will be running back LT.
Tony talked about the 28 rushing touchdowns he had last year, 3 more receiving for that NFL record 31 touchdown season. He has 16 this year, and he's met by John Lynch, the San Diego native, the veteran, who came up, got LT's headgear, and a flag comes down now at the end of the play, and another one to follow.
John Lynch has never played in a meaningless game in his life.
Play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 47 defense for throwing the helmet. 15 yards from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
And nothing to do with the helmet coming on or coming off on the tackle. It's the throwdown. Listen, watch. Lynch went to Torrey Pines High School. Is 15 minutes or so away from here. Used to be a San Diego Charger season ticket holder and now being booed by the Charger fans. Of course, there's been widespread conversation. Will this be the last couple of games John Lynch plays? And the conversation continues here between Broncos players and Chargers players. So even though this is meaningless for Denver out of the playoffs, there's been intensity brought to the game tonight.
Yeah, this is the NFC West. Remember, a 41-3 thrashing that the Chargers put on the Broncos. They remember that.
So Mike Shanahan, Norv Turner, watch the ball come down after the flag to the 31. A reverse in the hands of Buster Davis, the rookie out of LSU. Third NFL run, pulled down by Jamie Winborn, who starts for the injured Ian Gold, who's a scratch tonight. Susie's on the Denver sideline.
Yeah, you might not know it from that last play, a little scrap with Lynch and LT, but Lynch describes him as phenomenal. He thought Barry Sanders would always be the best, and he would never waver. Well, he says LT does things that blow your mind. He can make the best athletes look silly. He has more power than Sanders. His speed is such a factor, as well as his impact on the passing game. It simply stated he's just the best, and Lynch has seen a lot in his 15 seasons.
And he's been one of the best as well, Sue. 2nd and 4. Manu Maliuna, the tight end in motion. Down to block for Tomlinson. He was met with a short gain, only about a half yard. And let's introduce you to the rest of the lineups. DJ Williams, the middle linebacker with the Denver D.
Starting off with the boys up front that create the pressure. We got Elvis Dumerville, a.k.a. Cool, and the hard-working John Engelberger. At linebacker, we got Jamie Winborn and Nate the Nutso Webster. And DBs in the back, we got the savvy vet, hard-hitting John Lynch, H, Cool Dre Bly, and the best name in football, Champ.
Going to Hawaii for the Pro Bowl for the 8th time. 3rd and 4. Rivers starts the rookie Davis in motion, a 3-man rush, 8 cover. Tomlinson, open field. Good tackle by Dre Bly. It'll be 4th down. And now, a little bit of concern on the San Diego side. Nate Kading, their field goal kicker, on that opening kickoff, slightly injured his left calf, his plant leg. As a matter of fact, they were looking at Kading on the sideline most of the time that Denver had the ball and San Diego had the ball early on. So we'll watch him and watch that left leg as he tries this 40-yard field goal to put the Chargers on the board.
Mike, back to that prior play. What an outstanding tackle by Dre Bly in the open field against LaDainian Tomlinson.
Kading from 40. No problem. Everything looked okay there. So the field goal really helped by the 15-yard penalty on Lynch put San Diego on the board. Denver will take over at its own 33. Ronnie, we know you'll always be listening to what we do. Thank you. 6-8 Denver Broncos trailing 3-0 against the San Diego Chargers. Chargers control their own fate for the 3 seed. Win tonight, win Sunday up in Oakland, and they will be the 3 seed no matter what. They host a playoff game on Wild Card Weekend in a couple of weeks. Play is not happening. Pre-snap flag for a false start on Denver.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 89. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
SportsCenter 30-30, Kenny May.
Okay, Mike, the Bulls fired Scott Skiles after a 9-16 start. Obviously, the Bulls were hoping to be 10-15 at this point. Merry Christmas, Scott Skiles. Tom Coughlin dodging questions on whether he will rest players against the Patriots Saturday night. They're trying to be 16-0. Answer the question. I will defer to Jaws as to the appropriate thing to do. Do you rest him? Do you play him? What do you do, Jaws?
Stand by, Kenny. Selvin Young on the edge. Around Merriman, tackled by the Pro Bowler Antonio Cromartie. Can't get back to the original line. Jaws first back to the last series.
Yeah, nice design. You'll see Stephen Cooper here, the Charger. He fakes the blitz. That forces Chris Myers to stay inside. That gets the one-on-one matchup for Luis Castillo. He gets to hit on Jay Cutler. The fumble recovered by Stephen Cooper. You want to create one-on-one matchups for your pass rushers. That will keep Cutler inside the pocket, and he has turned the football over. Going into the game, 16 turnovers the last couple of years. That's way too many fumbles.
Charger fans thrilled to hear the name Castillo back after missing 5 games, the right ankle injury in November. 2nd and 11, Young reversing. With the marker down, he cannot get back to the line of scrimmage. Clinton Hart, Matt Wilhelm string it out.
Number 78 offense, space man, 15 yards. Replay, second down.
On Matt Lepsis, the 11th-year veteran, the one veteran on that front. Sean Merriman was chasing. Lepsis yanked on his face mask.
That was pretty obvious. Hey, Mike, can I answer Kenny's question?
Please do. Please do.
Rest them. Rest them. It's not about the Patriots if you're the Giants. It's about the Giants winning a playoff game. It's about your football team. If I was Tom Coughlin, I would rest my players. You want to give yourself the best chance for success in the playoffs. If you're a Giant, who cares about the Patriots?
Tony? So you automatically sort of cede an unprecedented, historic 16-0 season to the Patriots. You basically roll over and you let the Patriots do something that has never been done in history.
Don't care. I worry about my football team. It's about me, the Giants, winning a playoff game, potentially winning a world championship. If I'm Tom Coughlin, I could care less about Bill Belichick and the Patriots.
That's why you're who you are, Ron Jaworski.
2nd and 26 after the major penalty on Lepsis. It is back to Young. Off the edge came Jammer. Couldn't make the first tackle, but Drayton Florence helps him along for the tackle of 3rd and long coming up.
Just to go back on that, if you're Mercury Morris, are you happy with Tom Coughlin if he rests everybody? Because now they're on your block. Now they're in your yard. They're in your yard now.
The playoffs are ahead. The Patriots will meet their challenge in the playoffs.
Okay.
Denver needs to get to the 44. Javon Walker in motion, 4 receivers to choose from. The screen to Young. Unable to outrace Sean Phillips, who gets lost in the Sean Merriman shadow with his 4th-year man out of Purdue. Able to come up with the tackle, and the Broncos will punt it away.
Imagine being the second Sean in the same position. It just doesn't work.
No, it does
Got
not.
to change your name, don't you?
Yeah, for the Chargers, it is about those two Seans. Phillips and Merriman's most outstanding pass rushers off the edge.
Todd Sauerbrunn was cut. Paul Ernster was signed this week. Sauerbrunn had a simple assault citation disturbing the peace, a $8.35 cab fare issue. Didn't treat the police well. Mike Shanahan was unhappy, so Ernster comes in as the punter, and he welcomes back Denver fans with an 18-yard punt.
$8.35 just cost them about
40 yards.
40 yards.
LT on the field after this. Yards on the opening drive. He now is at 1,340. Past Willie Parker, out for the year with his injury. Adrian Peterson of the Vikings stuffed the last 2 games. You see Brian Westbrook and Willis McGahee, top 5 in the league in rushing, so an opportunity for Tomlinson to go back-to-back with the rushing title. After the poor punt, San Diego takes over in Denver territory. And Tomlinson gets about a yard. Here's Michelle Tafoya.
Well, I asked LaDainian Tomlinson if he does get close to that rushing record at the end of the season, meaning next week, would he ask Norv Turner if he could go for it? And he said, yeah, I will, because it's been an up-and-down season. The offensive line wants it as much as I do. And for us to be in this position, I think, says a lot, not only about the perseverance of the running game, but about the perseverance of the team. And so, yeah, if it's close, I'm definitely going to ask Norv, let's go get it.
He's getting 7 carries here, but he's also seeing a bunch of Broncos in the box. And DJ Williams brings him down with a gain of only 1.5 yards.
You know, I hear, and I want to emphasize that, I hear how great he is, because he's not on television all that much. And, I mean, what LaDainian Tomlinson is known for is wearing a visor and criticizing Bill Belichick last year. And but he's not appreciated in the way of all the people whose records he's passing. He is an unknown person. Why is that?
Extraordinarily unappreciated, maybe no postseason success playing out here in San Diego, among the reasons. But certainly known by his peers as the best running back of his time. 3rd and 8, Rivers throwing, holding. by Chris Chambers. First down for the Chargers at the 12-yard line.
Really nice job by Phillip Rivers, looking down the middle of the field, manipulating his safety, opening up the lane for Chris Chambers. There's the pump down the middle. He knows he's got Chambers streaking up the sideline, lays the ball in there beautifully behind Dre Bly. Outstanding throw, and it's made before. Dominique Foxworth could get over to knock it out.
A 30-yard grab. He didn't go to the ground with the ball coming out. That's why that stays as a catch. So now at the 12, Rivers and the Chargers looking to add to this 3-0 lead. Tomlinson left, flag down, LT down. Nate Webster joining Elvis Dumervil, the 5'11" defensive end who has 11 sacks.
Holding, number 66, offense, 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
Let me just go back to this for a second, because it's not a rhetorical question as to why this happens that you don't even know from LaDainian Tomlinson. A guy, 28 rushing touchdowns last year, fabulous running back in all the years he's here. If he was Tiki Barber, we know everything about Tiki Barber because he was a star in New York with similar credentials. And being out here in San Diego, for whatever that reason is, nobody knows this guy. They don't have a sense of his voice, his look, anything.
Tony, people that know football know LaDainian Tomlinson.
I mean, the general public.
Incredible.
The general public. They know Tiki Barber.
First and 20 after the flag. Rivers, 5 receivers to choose from. Goes to Tomlinson. Gets it to the 17-yard line. Second and about 13 coming up. And Tomlinson talked to us this week about the possibility of breaking Emmitt Smith's career rushing record. Then we'd know.
I don't know if I want to break the record. You know, I mean, if it presents itself at the time, then, yeah, I will go out there. But just to continue playing the game to break the record, I would not do that. You know, just because I have so much respect for Emmitt. And I don't want to, you know, just play just to break the record. I want to continue to love the game and really enjoy playing the game.
And here he goes to the left side. Makes Foxworth miss. Boom. Go to the end zone. Boom. TD.
Jaws, I know everybody who follows football knows him. But that's a small, limited audience compared to how many should know him.
Well, a lot will know him after tonight. That time, Norv Turner dialed up the right play. You'll see the draw play against the Denver Bronco blitz. Once he gets to the first level of the defense, no one there to tackle LaDainian Tomlinson. Watch this vision. Once he gets in the open field, bang, Dominique Foxworth, you're not touching me. Dre Bly, you're not getting me. Oh, easy run by LaDainian Tomlinson. Picture of beauty right there.
Nate Kading, who was back in the locker room during that break, able to get the extra point. He was hit and bumped after the kick, and a penalty marker is down.
There is no foul for running into the kicker, as number 86 was pushed into the kicker. Therefore, no foul. Timeout.
And 10-0 San Diego for the 17th time this year, the 115th time on the ground, the 128th time in his career, an LT touchdown. I wish their families a very Merry Christmas. And we'll be seeing some of the folks who make Monday Night Football so special throughout the evening here tonight. Line drive kickoff by Mike Seifert. Taken by Andre Hall to the 32-yard line. Spilled by the Pro Bowler Antonio Cromartie. Well, up the road in Pasadena on New Year's Day, the granddaddy of them all, as our friend Keith Jackson says, the Rose Bowl game presented by Citi, Southern California, a regular there at 10-2 with John David Moody. And a Fighting Illini of Illinois. A whole bunch of folks from Champaign are California bound. Haven't been there since 1984. The Rose Bowl game presented by Citi on ABC, New Year's Day. And of course, the Rose Parade that morning gets a great day going over on ABC.
As their coach would say, the University of Illinois.
From the 32, the toss to Travis Henry, seeing his first action of the night. And he gets a run of about 5 yards to the 37-yard line. Henry had 3 100-yard performances in the first 4 games of the year for the Broncos against Buffalo, Oakland, and Indianapolis. But since then, he has been injury-plagued, and the productivity has not been what the Broncos hoped.
And I can't help but think that part of the controversy over that drug test led to some of that. You know, and I understand he was not suspended, and his coach Mike Shanahan fought for him, but there's got to be some sort of correlation with not gaining any yards once that became such a public matter.
Well, he had the knee injury. It certainly slowed him down.
Yeah.
Pressure picked up as Cooper was coming in, but Clinton Hart was left free and is brought down. Got right past Travis Henry for a loss and a 3rd and long coming up.
Mike, as this season has progressed, Ted Cottrell, the defensive coordinator for the Chargers, has dialed up more blitzes. Here, Clinton Hart coming up the middle. You see the block by Travis Henry, not very good.
That's a rodeo
and
move.
Of course, yeah, Jay Cutler sacked on a play, but Ted Cottrell loves that 3-4 defense. He loves to bring those outside linebackers, and he will bring the safeties, as we just saw.
For Hart, first sack as a Charger. He had one with the Eagles. He came over from Philly, waived by the Eagles in 04. 3rd and 14. And Cutler's throw, nice catch by Tony Scheffler and the tight end, who had a great touchdown in Houston last Thursday. Gets the first down at the 45-yard line as the Broncos just push the Chargers off their throat for a second. We're spinning down here toward the end of the first quarter, and Norv Turner's team at home has been so good, going for 7-1 at home this season. But look at this. They jumping out on teams, outscoring opponents, 81-0 at home. The NFL record is 83-6. The 1921 Buffalo All-Americans. And Jaws, I know you were
I knew you were going to bring this.
holder for them.
Yeah, that was at War Memorial Stadium. Not quite 1921, Michael.
Travis Henry.
Tony made
right
that side, but not me.
That's unbelievable. That's 81-0 at home in the first quarter.
I was a ball boy then for the Buffalo All-Americans. 81-0. That's better than 83-6. I'm sorry, because the differential is better.
End of
Should be the record.
Came out of Texas Christian University 7 years ago. First-round pick, LaDainian Tomlinson. He was destined to be a very good player, but I don't know if we all saw the greatness that was ahead. Only 6 men in the history of the National Football League have scored more touchdowns. He does it with a style, a flair, and with class off the field as well. And Tomlinson's imprint on this game right away. You see his numbers, including the 15th rushing touchdown of the year, as the Chargers lead 10-0 as we head off to the second quarter here on Monday Night Football.
And don't forget, LaDainian can throw the ball as well. I would not be surprised if we saw a pass from LaDainian sometime tonight.
Quarter starts with 2nd and long for Cutler. Put it up for Brandon Marshall, who was blanketed across the field by Quentin Jammer. And we'll have 3rd and about 8 coming up.
Quentin Jammer in perfect position on the deep cross. Cutler had a lot of time in the pocket to let that play develop down the field. Normally a corner's got that clock in his head. He's thinking in about 3 seconds that ball's going to be out. Jammer did a really good job of staying in his coverage on Marshall.
Big night for Jammer and Selvin Young, the running back for the Broncos. They are both University of Texas products. Texas is going to play in the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl on ESPN on the 28th of the month next week. And the entire Texas football team is in the house here tonight. Officially 3rd and 9. Cutler pressured, sacked again. Brought down by Luis Castillo, who returns to the lineup. The first-round pick of 2005 out of Northwestern.
Castillo having a big night tonight.
This is not working out well for all the body parts of Jay Cutler.
Well, when you get in 3rd in known passing situations, you're in for a long day. Castillo does a terrific job right there of splitting the blocks of Eric Pierce and Montre Holland. Terrific job by Castillo.
Shoulder pads came out of the jersey. Next, the helmet could come off. Next, you just walk away and say, take my shoes, I'm done.
For Castillo, 2 sacks tonight. His first multi-sack game in his NFL career. Ernster a better punt this time. That rolls, and the Chargers will have a long field. It's 99 yards. Even though it got down to the 1-inch line, by rule, it comes out exactly to the 1-yard line.
What a break for them to get it exactly at the 1.
With Dave through the night. False start will move it back a half yard. It's a flag on Marcus McNeil.
Number 73 offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So that was Dave and Dave.
Dave and Dave.
Right.
Yes.
Not like Darryl and his brother Darryl. It was Dave and Dave. Okay. So when we check in with Dave, we're sort of checking in with both of the guys.
Yeah. Not launching rockets.
Looking for reindeer. He's looking for reindeer at this point. I don't know.
If you find the reindeer, Santa probably would.
Late at night at the bars, I'm looking for reindeer too.
2nd and 10 and a half. Tomlinson tries the left side, gets about 1.5 yards. Jamie Winborn comes up with the tackle.
LaDainian Tomlinson has been outstanding this evening. Here's the vision and the quickness. Didn't have the point of attack, took it to the outside. Look at the move on Nate Webster. Wow. Here, once again, you see the great vision, the quickness, the speed, and he walks into the end zone. LaDainian Tomlinson, his offensive line loves him. He makes them look real good.
And his wide receivers help out, too. You see that Chris Chambers block on both of those plays. 2nd and 9 after getting out to the 2-yard line. Play action, whole field to defense to take a shot to Vincent Jackson. Almost intercepted by Champ Bailey. Bailey, the Pro Bowler, and Jackson one-on-one. 3rd and 8 coming up.
I love the play call. You take your shot. And he had the opportunity. That ball's got to be thrown deep across the field, off the play action. That holds the safeties, holds the corner just a hair. Now Phillip Rivers drives that ball down the field, but he didn't drive the football enough. It's underthrown. That ball's got to be thrown across the field, across the hash, across that Charger helmet, so Jackson could go make the catch.
Should have said 3rd and 9. You saw Rivers deliver. It's always been
quirky.
One of the questions about Phillip.
Quirky is a word I would use.
The play clock down to 1. LT. First down. Hamza Abdullah, who took over the starting safety spot about a month ago, got there a couple of yards too late. San Diego first down.
LaDainian does such a great job of breaking down the discipline of your defense, the fit between your defensive linemen and your linebackers. He starts out to the left once again. It's not there. All of a sudden, there's a little gap backside because of the breakdown and gets discipline. He sees it. Then he has the speed and the quickness to get to it and through it.
Saw that 3rd and 9, gain of 11, gives him 26 straight games with a run of 10 or more. He gets a break, and Michael Turner, who had 147 yards against the Broncos in the first meeting, comes into the lineup. And Turner, lucky to get back to the line. DJ Williams with the hit. Tim Crowder in there as well.
Wouldn't you think if LaDainian Tomlinson was so good, Jaws, that other guys would wear that kind of visor too? Wouldn't you think everybody would say, how can I get more like him? Quickest way, put on a visor.
It does have certainly a practical use, not just for style. LT talking about how it hides his eyes so they
don't know where he's going.
Defender cannot see his eyes and where he's looking.
Wouldn't everybody do it?
Well, I don't think everybody has the ability to go the places he goes. 2nd and 10, a throw down for Rivers. Throws back across to Turner, who is hit at the 20-yard line. Marcus Thomas made the tackle. A 3rd and a couple coming up.
Well, you'll see LaDainian Tomlinson where he runs. The left side, look at that, 6 for 32. Over the middle, 3 for 27. And to the right side, 1 time for 1 yard. Coming into this game tonight, I charted LaDainian Tomlinson. He had 124 rushes to the left, only 58 to the right. That trend continues.
Great left side of the line. Chris Dealman made the Pro Bowl this year, the left guard. Marcus McNeil, the 2nd-round pick last year, made the Pro Bowl. Struggled early on this year. That may have been part of their 1-3 slow start, but he has come on in the last 10 games. Chargers have won 8 of those 10. Rivers' 32 throw. Champ Bailey contesting it. It is ruled a catch. Complete for the first down by Chris Chambers.
One of the areas Phillip Rivers has struggled throughout his career is the sideline passing game. Here he makes a fantastic throw to Chris Chambers, who holds onto the football.
And the reason there was the delay, he clearly caught it, got the feet down. The official wanted to go over and make sure when he went to the ground he maintained possession. And in fact, Chambers did. Guy who caught his first touchdown in his college career when he played at Wisconsin right here in Qualcomm Stadium.
Not supposed to do that on Champ Bailey, are you? Not supposed to do that.
That was a tight window.
Rivers Andrew Pinnock, the fullback, could not bring it in, and Michelle has more on Chris Chambers.
Well, Chambers had spent all 6 seasons of his NFL career with the Dolphins before they traded him, so he was a bit shocked when he found out he was leaving Miami. He didn't get to say goodbye to his teammates in person, and when he said goodbye to his coaches, he nearly broke down. He told me walking out of the Dolphins facility was hard. That was all I knew for the past 6 years, but he also admitted his goal all season was to get to the playoffs. He just didn't expect it to be with a different team, Mike.
Yeah, from 1-14 to 9-5, working on 10-5, has worked out on the professional end.
If he stayed there, he wouldn't have made the playoffs this year. That's a pretty good bet for next.
Good call, Tony.
Rivers launching it with a lot of air for Gates. And Antonio, who hasn't caught one or had one thrown his way, couldn't bring it in.
You'll take a look at Phillip Rivers here in the pocket. Off the play action, trying to get Antonio Gates on the bow out, that little corner route. What Phillip Rivers must do is maintain his discipline of mechanics in the pocket. He got a little bit frenetic in the pocket. Stay on balance, throw the football accurately. Here you can see, historically, he has been terrific between the numbers. Outside the numbers, he has struggled.
Arm strength?
Arm strength certainly comes into it.
Play clock running down, and Rivers will take a timeout before this 3rd and 10. San Diego leading 10-0. 2 wins away from locking down the 3 seed. Either Cleveland or Tennessee will get the last AFC playoff spot. Tennessee with a win over Indianapolis. If the Titans lose on Sunday evening, then Cleveland will get the 6th and final playoff spot in the AFC. 3rd and 10. 3-man rush, 8 covering. Rivers has time with that knee injury, unable to get out of the pocket and escape, and is brought down for the loss as Josh Mallard out of Oregon comes in to get his 2nd sack of the year and will force 4th down.
Once again, Phillip Rivers playing fast in the pocket. Get back in that pocket. There's a nice cradle. Step up, settle down, stay right there. Don't tuck the football under. Keep your eyes upfield, keep the ball in throwing position.
It's a pretty good sack for a guy who's pinned to the ground by the center, Nick Hardwick. He had him down, and he comes up with the play. Mike Cyphers, the punter to kick. His coach, Norv Turner, said this week, this guy should be the Pro Bowl punter. He is a terrific kicker. Very hard to catch punts. Martinez does a nice job at the 12-yard line.
Did you mention that Josh Mallard is out of Oregon?
Yes, he is.
A Duck? Josh Mallard?
No, he's out of Georgia.
Oh.
Thanks for catching it.
Oh, that was irresistible if he was actually out of Oregon, Mr. Mallard.
That kick was 59 yards and 5.1 seconds of hang time.
Broncos have to get something going here.
And what makes you think they will?
Defense has been outstanding at containing Jay Cutler. We started the first drive talking about Jay Cutler outside the pocket. You know what? The Chargers, Tony, are not letting him get outside the pocket.
Cutler quick toss to Brandon Marshall. Fabulous the last 2 weeks. Mark man now. 4 Chargers surround him. Gain of 3. Jaws,
we talked about the discipline of the Charger defense containing Jay Cutler. Watch the edge rush. Set the edge. Don't break down your discipline. Force Cutler back up inside. He steps up inside. There's Luis Castillo. Same situation right here. Set the edge. Force Cutler to move up in the pocket. There's Castillo once again. Outstanding job of playing with discipline from the down linemen and the edge rushers.
And Castillo playing in the dime situation. Just the pass rush to ease him back in to the lineup. 2nd and 5. Cutler, no chance.
So, George, how's that working out for you? How's that? The offense that has to get started, how's that working out for you?
Sean Phillips.
It didn't work out very well on that play, Tony, because Sean Phillips just came off the edge. Again, you see the pressure once again, but Daniel Graham's got to do a better job in his pass protection.
Second Sean, not the first Sean. Wow, he's getting rushed. Come on now.
And he got beat up last week. 5 sacks, 5 times by the Chargers in Colorado earlier this year. 4 tonight.
Against an aggressive defense like the Chargers, you do not want to be in 3rd and 13 too often.
3rd and 12 when we come back. The Broncos can get nothing going on offense. Back in San Diego, we wish you a very Merry Christmas. Glad you have us on here tonight.
I know my family back in Voorhees, New Jersey, they're all watching, Mike. Wish them a Merry Christmas.
They have a TV?
3rd and 12. Cutler. Time this time. The coverage is good. Javon Walker caught it, but was out of bounds. Incomplete. 4th down.
They've become a bad football team over the course of the year, the Denver Broncos.
If you can't protect your quarterback, you got no chance.
To teams with sub-500 records, they've become a bad team. They're not used to losing like this. They're getting beat bad. This is like historic losing for them. If they lose to San Diego, that's 4 straight to San Diego for the first time since 1968. They're giving up loads of points.
And if you consider that dominant performance earlier this season where the Chargers won 41-3,
Ernst missed the ball. He's lucky to get it forward.
That cab ride is just so expensive.
It'll be down to the 43, a kick of just 33 yards. He's lucky it went that far. They looked like the kicks in the Chicago-Green Bay game last week, or yesterday, I should say. Seen that before?
It's a PTI exclusive.
Who stole that this week, by the way?
Jessica Simpson.
Yeah, here's a gain of a yard for LaDainian Tomlinson. Yeah, what was that deal, by the way?
All the people in Carolina, right? They had Jessica Simpson heads on sticks.
Did they give them out?
Oh, sure.
Who gets a cut of that, you or Wilbon?
Wilbon gets new clothing. I get cash.
Were those in honor of Tony Romo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you hear that? Was it said that that Jessica Simpson was actually at the game? Do you find that true?
I do not know that.
Okay.
I do not care.
Really?
Yeah, I'm with Mike.
I'm not Jessica out yet.
From the 42, out of 4 receivers, here's LT with a run up the middle to the 39. Before 3rd down, here's Susie.
Mike, the matchup that I was looking forward to tonight was Champ Bailey against Phillip Rivers, and we've seen it happen a couple of times. Rivers characterized it as competitive, and Bailey countered, I used to like him, but I don't anymore because he talks too much trash. And you saw in the last series, they were jabbing a little bit at each other, but Champ's feeling was that this guy just hasn't done enough in the league so far to be trash talking the way he is, and it's there a couple of Hall of Famers around him who are giving him his success.
Yeah, that quieted us down real quick last night in our meeting. That was a wow out of Champ Bailey. He threw on Bailey there. That was caught by the rookie Buster Davis. 1st down to the 29. Champ was in coverage, but the rookie out of LSU with the 1st down. Gain of 10.
Champ Bailey's been thrown at, Mike. I love these stats. You know, see it right here. 63 times this year. 37 have been completed against him. Only 58%, only giving up 3 touchdowns. Champ Bailey is one of those shutdown corners. But right there, you see the great route by Davis. Great throw by Rivers. Move the chains.
Didn't shut that one down.
Well, you can't shut down everyone, Tony.
Really?
No, not everyone.
Manu Maliuna comes to block in the hands of Chambers on the reverse. Bailey over there to make the stop, but a gain of 8 for Chambers on his 2nd run of the season. The first one gained 9. Jaws, what does adding Chris Chambers do to the San Diego offense?
There's a toughness about his game. As I've studied this Chargers offense since Chambers has come on board, they throw the square ins, they throw the slants, they throw the skinny post. He's not afraid to go inside, go into the crowd, and catch the football. He's a big-bodied guy that is fearless.
LT. Great move. Bailey pulls him down at the 6. Gain of 15. 1st and goal, San Diego.
When we talked to LaDainian Tomlinson the other day and asked him how all of this greatness had affected him personally, he said the thing now is people say LT's a great player, but he hasn't won a playoff game. And LaDainian said that's the challenge. We'll get to that subtext throughout this game, but it is critical for San Diego to win a playoff game. That's why that coaching change was made.
Tomlinson saw he had nothing there and just goes forward. Good push by the Denver front.
Tony, spinning that forward, it's not LaDainian Tomlinson hasn't won a playoff game. It's the San Diego Chargers haven't won a playoff game. And I agree with you. The pressure will be on them. Not tonight, not next week. When those playoffs start, this team must win a playoff game.
Well, they've lost 4 in a row. Haven't won since '94 when they beat Pittsburgh in the championship game to get to the Super Bowl. 26 NFL teams have won a playoff game since the Chargers won their last playoff game. So it'll all be about what happens in a couple of weeks here at Qualcomm. 2nd and goal. And Tomlinson to the right with Lynch pushing him to the sideline at the 5, where 3rd and goal will come up.
All right. There was a shot of Norv Turner before, who was the coach of this team, who pretty much fell up to get this job because he hadn't had a great record before. I covered him for a lot of years in Washington. The gamble is very simple. A.J. Smith, the general manager, got rid of Marty Schottenheimer and brought in Norv Turner. And that's the same kind of gamble that Pat Riley took when he got rid of Stan Van Gundy a few years ago with the Miami Heat. Pat Riley had to get to the finals of the NBA to make that worthwhile. A.J. Smith needs Norv Turner to win at least one home playoff game to make that switch pay off. If not, it falls on him for making it.
5 receivers set with Tomlinson. Rivers throws incomplete. Trying to get it down at the goal line for Vincent Jackson. Well covered by the Broncos. Jamie Winborn there in coverage, and we'll get a field goal attempt coming from Nate Kading.
Nice job by the Denver defense, Mike. As you said, they rushed 3. They dropped 8 into coverage. They put that picket fence along the goal line there and really squeezed down the areas where Phillip Rivers could throw the football. You'll see the 3-man rush. They're all looking into the backfield at Rivers. He tries to stick it in. It's not there as Williams makes the play.
Kading made a 40-yarder, injured his knee on the opening kickoff, the left knee, the plant leg. But has worked through the pain and knocks through a field goal. 13-0. 2 poor punts have helped give the Chargers good field position tonight. Steve Nash and the Phoenix Suns. It all begins on your home of the NBA Finals, ABC, at 2 Eastern with NBA Countdown.
Am I going to get everybody in Cleveland mad at me if I say that I still believe Kobe Bryant is the best all-around player in the league? Plays defense, plays offense, doing a great job with the Lakers this year, wouldn't you say?
Well, when I get to Cleveland in 10 hours, I'll let you know if they're mad at you.
I'll take the heat on that. I'm not taking the heat. No. I'll take the heat on that.
I'm glad to pass it along.
Doesn't want any
heat. Are struggling.
Yeah.
Miami at the bottom of the East. Shaq and Dwayne Wade. Be interested to see how they come out of that funk. The return by Andre Hall. He's bumped down in the NBA, and we'll be speaking with Kobe and LeBron coming up at halftime.
But also in games played, Wilt went to 20,000 points in about 14 games. I mean, historically, nobody remembers. He averaged 50 points a game one year. 50. Come on.
All right, Tony, big drive for the Broncos here.
You said that already.
I know, but it's another time.
Cutler launching deep for his tight end, Scheffler, almost intercepted by Quentin Hart, who was there in coverage with Quentin Jammer. So the Broncos have not helped with poor punting and a 15-yard penalty when the Chargers have had the ball. Now, when they've had the ball, they've done nothing. Wow. Fumbling on that first drive when they got to the 21-yard line of Denver, and then a 3-and-out, 6 plays in the punt, and they've accomplished just 3 first downs on the night.
If they were all a quarterback, they'd have a 0 rating at the moment. As we like to call them, Rex numbers from last year.
2nd and 10. Chargers blitz it. Selvin Young runs left. He only gains a yard. The Charger defense is flying to the ball. Sean Phillips again getting there, and now 3rd down, and those passing downs have been a disaster for Denver.
Mike, you nailed it. The Charger defense is playing at a different speed right now. Look at the job by number 95, Sean Phillips, fighting off the block of the tight end. Maybe a little hold in there as well, but then coming in and making the play. Just playing fast right now.
Well, what can you do? Can you screen them, try to burn them with what they're doing?
Well, you got to go to the quick game, the quick slant, the quick fade, get the ball out of Jay Cutler's hand. He just hasn't had much of a chance going to the deep drop.
Watch Luis Castillo, left defensive tackle, 2 sacks already tonight. Gets picked up by Montre Holland. The pass is deflected and incomplete. The contact with Antonio Cromartie and Brandon Marshall. And it's another 3-and-out for Cutler and the Broncos.
You know, the Broncos, I think, are 8-13 in their last 21. They were a powerhouse for years. the way they have fallen is so noticeable. It's so precipitous in the last year and a half. Come on.
But I think as you spin it forward, you look, they do have some quality, skilled players. They have to build their offensive and defensive line. Their defensive line play has been horrible this season.
Ernster has struggled in his first game back as a punter. Chargers looking to bring some pressure on him. Oh, and they should have gotten that block. I don't know why Drayton Florence didn't lay out for it. It went out of bounds. And San Diego will take over at the 35-yard line. Well, the flight from San Diego to Honolulu will have a lot of Chargers on it. As you see, 8 players there. Tomlinson, Gates, and Neal starters. Lorenzo Neal out. The fullback hopes to be back for the playoffs. Williams and Merriman. We've seen Kasim Osgood, second year special teams coverage man. Chris Dielman, the guard, and Antonio Cromartie, who told us that he was out house shopping when he got the call from a member of the Chargers public relations staff that he's going to Hawaii. And Cromartie has turned around and bought 9 tickets for friends and family to go to the Pro Bowl. First down run for Darren Sproles, gains 5. Lynch with the tackle, and Michelle has more on another one of those Pro Bowlers.
Yeah, Antonio Gates, a little bit surprised that he got named. He said this year was a little more interesting to me because the AFC was so competitive. He mentioned Kellen Winslow could have easily made it. Dallas Clark had a great year. So when he found out that he was going back, he was really excited. He said, I'm embracing it this time.
81 catches in 04, 89 in 05, 71 in 06, 68 this year. Sproles. And the little man, 5'6", out of K-State, gets the first down at the 47. 2-minute warning on Christmas Eve in San Diego. And the Chargers in complete control.
It was you who gave Wilbon me the boot.
Yes, well, actually, it's Kobe and LeBron.
Wow.
The 3 of us.
So you got booted
now
for
I'm
Kobe and LeBron.
It's a 3-on-2 fast break. Even with me, Kobe and LeBron.
I would be posterized.
We kicked the tail of both of you.
Yes, Wilbon and I would be down for the count on that. That's true.
You guys will join us coming up at the half. Boomer as well. 1st and 10 after the completion to Sproles. Chargers looking to add to the 13-0 lead. Three receivers left. Rivers' little jump for Sproles is incomplete with DJ Williams. Standing right there, we'll have 2nd and 10.
Now, Mike, we start off the show by talking about the future of the Chargers in the playoffs will depend on Phillip Rivers. He looks uncomfortable to me tonight. The ball's just not coming out with a good timing and rhythm with his receivers. He just, it doesn't show me that firmness in the pocket. Now, he's going to have to play a lot better if they're going to go deep into the playoffs.
He did injure his knee in the game against Tennessee a couple of weeks ago. Came back, was very strong in that second half. Norv Turner said he'd be surprised that he even came back to finish that win at Tennessee. But his mechanics looking different. That's nothing new. That's not related to the knee injury. Sproles is tackled by Josh Mallard. And we'll have 3rd down at 11 coming up.
But to me, it's a lot about decision making. You know, when you see a quarterback, when that back foot hits the top of the drop, he's got to know where the ball is going. Phillips looks a little bit confused right now where the ball has to go. And I know he's getting great coaching. Norv Turner's an outstanding quarterback coach. John Ramsdell, an outstanding quarterback coach. But for some reason, there's been a disconnect. It can't carry over from that coaching to where the quarterback can process that information quickly on the field. He's far enough along in his career where he should be doing a better job.
Third and 11, the Broncos drop in coverage. And Rivers throws, squeezing it in, and it's caught by Vincent Jackson at the 25. Second time they've been able to do that between Bly and Foxworth.
That's a big-time throw right there. And I think if Phillips stays in the pocket, delivers with good mechanics, here, drives off that back foot. When you see the mechanics, you see the results. When you see sloppy mechanics, you see sloppy throws.
It's a gain of 28. And you talk about the mechanics and the way Rivers throws the ball. It has a little bit of a shot put type motion. And you and I were down on the field talking to Phil, and I've known him since his North Carolina State days. He started as a freshman, was the MVP of every bowl game he played in. He had 5 of them, all 4 for NC State, and then the Senior Bowl his senior year. And that delivery's always been a question. And it developed because his dad, Steve, a high school coach, Philip would come off the school bus as an elementary school student, and he'd be trying to throw the 1-pound football, the regular-sized football.
A little heavy.
And he's like 7 years old, so he's shot-putting it and shot-putting it. And the story between he and his dad is that's why he has that unique way of delivering the ball.
He pushes it a little bit.
Couldn't they have bought him a lighter football? and he wouldn't have any of these problems?
From the 26 to the end zone. For Gates, the coverage with Carl Pema. The extra defensive back comes in. Well, Phillip Rivers, his record so far, first 30 starts of his career, wrapping up his second full season as a starter.
Good.
Only Kurt Warner and Ben Roethlisberger up at the same level, and those first two guys did win Super Bowls.
Traded for Eli Manning, was he not?
Yeah.
Eli Manning is not 23-7.
And Phillip is a great guy to be around. You know, Mike, you were talking about, we were down the field and we had a meeting with him yesterday. Man, he just loves football. You love talking football with him. You know, he's going to work through some of these mechanical flaws in his game. I think the future is very bright for Phillip Rivers.
2nd and 10 from the 26. Swinging it to Sproles. Beautiful open field play by Nate Webster. Middle linebacker most of his career. Moving over to the strong side linebacker. Some question if there's an upgrade needed at that position. Webster made a play there as the clock winds down. So it's 3rd and 11. Chargers choosing not to use their one remaining timeout. From here, a field goal would be about 45 yards. And Rivers uses the middle and completes it for the first down to the 11-yard line to Chambers in front of Dominique Foxworth with 9 seconds left. San Diego calls for time.
Just a poor job by the Denver secondary. They came with a 3-man rush. They dropped 8 into coverage. They really squeezed down the windows. Phillip Rivers did a terrific job of anticipating the throw. You'll see it right here. You play quarterback. You look down the field. There's that window. He anticipated the receiver coming in. That's what you have to do. And this is what Chambers will do. He'll go inside. He'll catch the ball in the crowd, and he'll take the hit and hold on to the football.
Well, you saw as Rivers was coming off after the timeout, limping a little bit. I mentioned a right knee injury against Tennessee. And his offensive lineman gets shoved back into him by Elvis Dumerville, and Marcus McNeil ends up coming into Rivers' knee, calls timeout, and limps back over to the sideline. Again, this is a San Diego team that needs to win here this week and next week against Oakland to get the 3 seed. Pittsburgh could lose as well, but they still have something to play for, trying to get that 3 seed, and don't have as many options to rest their players. So no timeouts, 9 seconds, and they're going to run a play. So it's going to be to the end zone. And Rivers throws to the back corner. It's slapped away. Try to get Antonio Gates to jump ball it. Foxworth back there with Pema. And a field goal attempt coming up here at the end of the half.
You know, as we watch Phillip Rivers come off the field, I think back to that Tennessee game. He really struggled for 3 quarters. He was beat up, banged up, concussed, and in that 4th quarter, he led a rally to win that game. I'll tell you, that won the team over. He played hurt. He got the victory. Got a lot of respect for that victory.
I believe it said Gates. It was Chambers on the jump ball. 40 and 23 already in the books. This from 29 for Caden. And despite getting his knee banged up, he's able to get the field goal to end the half, 16-0.
Maybe you ought to play hurt more often because he's perfect at the moment. He's got 9 points. The rest of the team has 7.
Toyota halftime show coming up, and here's Chris Berman. Chris, getting a lot of Hannah Montana stuff for Christmas, and I'm going to guarantee that a lot of young boys and girls in the San Diego area are getting 21 powder blue jerseys for Christmas. LaDainian Tomlinson jerseys. Tomlinson with a good first half, dominant for the Chargers as they lead here by the score 16-0. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Does it amaze you to think that her dad sang Achy Breaky Heart?
That's right, Billy Ray Cyrus said that. Yeah. Would you like to sing Girls Night Out, one of the Miley Cyrus tunes? Tony?
I have to say that I'm not as familiar with Hannah Montana. I mean, my daughter's 25. Okay. She's not, you know, she's not a Hannah Montana age group. I was Billy Ray Cyrus. I knew about him.
And he's come back.
Yeah, he was on, wasn't he on Dancing with the Stars once or something like that?
He was, and he has a song with their daughter. But that's his daughter, but that's a whole other story.
But you, in your family, you are big Hannah Montana fans.
Yes,
right.
Yes.
He went to the concert, like front row.
Hey, look, front row. Kobe Bryant went to the concert with his daughter also. So you want to get started?
I guess that demographic I'm in puts me out of that.
Old.
Yeah, old is what we call it. Decrepit.
So listen here, guys. This is interesting. Matt Prater is kicking off. He was just signed by the Broncos this week when they had a roster spot. Jason Elam is not the kickoff guy normally. He hasn't kicked an extra point or a field goal. He's yet to play in the game tonight. If he plays, he passes Elway for the most games played in Broncos history. But the team has to try to score. They haven't come close. returned by Darren Sproles to the 26. A flag is down as Tony Scheffler, the starting tight end, brings him down. The Broncos had 21 plays and 55 yards and only 3 first downs in the first half.
During the return, holding, number 54 in the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Penalty was on Stephen Cooper. Let's go down to the sideline and Michelle Tafoya.
Well, Mike, we saw Phillip Rivers limping just a little bit late in that first half. I talked to Norv Turner at halftime, and he said he's fine. He is going to play here in the second half, but probably not for the entire second half. We can expect to see backup Billy Volek sometime, probably after the third quarter. As for LaDainian Tomlinson, he may get an earlier exit. They really don't want to risk injury to him, Mike.
Well, they were able to shut him down, Michelle, after the first half of the dominant victory over Detroit, 51-14 last week. Tomlinson had 116 yards. And then Darren Sproles came in the second half and had a $122. From the 16, it begins with LT. Right toward the first down line at the 26, and DJ Williams brought him down, Ron.
Yeah, LT does a great job of seeing the defense, almost like a quarterback. He's reading the linebackers. Once he sees a linebacker miss his gap, he takes that away and goes to the opening. Great vision. He'll read the linebackers here. Here's a stretch play. Now he sees those linebackers block. Backside, there's the opening. He hits it. Great job of the vision of LaDainian Tomlinson. And then, of course, he has the speed and the quickness to get to that backside hole.
26 through the hole again to the 35, a pickup of 9.
Yeah, once again, a terrific job of doing that. He sees DJ Williams on that backside. He gets him in space. And we have LaDainian Tomlinson, and you give him a two-way go. In other words, he can go left or right. He's going to make you miss. Right there, he cuts back to the left. Of course, Manu Maliuna was blocking Williams and made it a little bit easier on LT to hit that one.
You pronounce that name beautifully.
Manu Maliuna?
Very, very good.
I hang around Tirico. I get good on pronunciation.
Tomlinson comes off after being brought down a yard shy of yet another 100-yard game. So into the lineup comes Michael Turner, and Williams makes the tackle, but a first down is picked up. Here are the numbers at the break, and really, guys, you're so used to Denver's offense and Mike Shanahan's offense being so productive, and they were just inept in that first half.
They used to have the best rushing offense in the league. They used to get like 17, 18 rushing touchdowns a year, right? Well, their primary backs, they have 5 now between Henry and Young. They don't score at all anymore.
Swung out to Sproles, who was brought down by Williams.
Yeah, Mike Goff out in space, just was over-athletic. Just didn't have a chance right there. Mike Goff, by the way, is a big arena fan, by the way.
We knew you'd get that plug in. The over-under was in the middle of the third quarter.
He goes to Philadelphia's Soul game, so I just thought I'd get that plug in because the arena season starts in about 2 months.
Any singers you want to mention as long as you're going down that route?
I don't know many singers.
Did you hear when Bon Jovi tours?
There we go.
When they come out
I set that up good.
When they come out for an encore, he reads the Soul season ticket number, 2nd and 16. Here's the screen to Sproles. In the open field, he's pulled down by Jamie Winborn. And we'll have a third down coming up, needing to get just to the 49 to keep the drive alive.
One thing we should say, the point is made that San Diego winning tonight and has won 4 games in a row, anxiously awaiting the playoffs. The upheaval on this team was enormous on the coaching staff, not the players. Both coordinators left, Cam Cameron and Wade Phillips, for head coaching jobs. Marty Schottenheimer gone a month after the season. Norv Turner has to come in, 8 new assistants. People wonder what happened to 14-2 talent. The talent is still 14-2. It took a while. The continuity wasn't there, though they preached continuity. It wasn't actually there. They got to 5-5 at one point.
3rd and 10, pressure. The throw is hauled in by Gates. Wow, what a grab by Antonio. Dre Bly thought he had it. Gates the grab, his first catch of the night.
This is why Antonio Gates, once again going to the Pro Bowl. You'll see him match against Dre Bly. That's a starting corner. You see Bly in good position, not good enough, as Gates goes up with one hand, makes the grab. Great ball placement by Phillip Rivers, putting it where only Gates could make the catch.
So now you love him. You've turned on Phillip Rivers.
No, this is the problem you have with Phillip Rivers. He's uneven. He'll make throws like that, and then, you know, he'll come up in the next series and go, where's he throwing the ball? He needs to be more consistent.
After the fabulous catch by Gates. Long ball. Nope, the out. Caught by Buster Davis at the 21-yard line. First down. The pickup of 17. Davis, who was in the shadow of Dwayne Bowe, who's had an excellent rookie season for the Chiefs. Both rookies out of LSU, both taken in the first round.
See, this throw here, although it's a completion, is not a great throw. I mean, you got Dre Bly about 5 yards off. That ball's low into the outside. Davis gets a chance to stick his foot in the ground, to wheel back around, and maybe take it to the end zone. Yeah, it's a completion, but it's an inaccurate throw.
Tomlinson, a yard away from his 44th regular season 100-yard NFL game on the ground. And he'll get it for the moment. Champ Bailey, the tackle. We talk about all the special numbers with LaDainian. The one thing you can't measure is his impact within this community. Of course, we know the fires of the early fall were such a devastating thing. As a matter of fact, Tomlinson and his wife received one of those just scary 3 a.m. reverse 911 calls where they call you and say, evacuate, get out. LT and other players did. And Tomlinson's way of saying thank you to the first responders, who was honoring them with a day and some mementos. It's part of the outreach from this entire Charger organization, but really speaks a lot to what Tomlinson does so well. Nothing going on. Rivers out of the pocket. Is it completed? Yes. Caught by Vincent Jackson. What a job. Coming available at the very last second. First down.
Nice job by Phillip Rivers extending the play. You'll see move outside the pocket. Look to the outside. Throws it to the outside. Yes, it was a catch.
Ooh, I don't know.
Well, let's see right there. Looks like Jackson's got
catch. I don't know if that was the foot closer to you, which would be his left foot. That's going to be challenged. I don't know if once he caught it, that left foot had already left the ground. So they'll take a peek. Mike Shanahan to challenge. Frustrated look. Parry, the referee, is looking inside the replay booth to determine if this was a catch. It was ruled a catch on the field. Mike Shanahan challenging. So possession is there. Now the question is there enough evidence to see that left foot, the foot farthest away from you from this angle? Was it still in contact with the turf?
I don't think you can overrule this. I think it's got to stay a catch.
It's a heck of a job by both Rivers and Jackson.
After reviewing the play, it is a catch with possession, 2 feet inbound.
Jaws.
Denver is charged with their first team timeout.
You sound surprised.
No,
Tony.
you got it,
I'm
Jaws.
like 100%.
That's great. I should tell Mike. You didn't tell him. I bought a house. I am going to stay.
You want to stay?
It's just that
What?
nice.
Yeah, I know it.
You know, small house, but you know, we're going to stay.
You know what I'm seeing tonight, though, which is good for the San Diego Chargers looking down the road? Their wide receivers are starting to catch footballs now.
Right.
Coming into this game, they had only 97 receptions. That was the lowest in the National Football League.
Because he uses the tight end so much.
Uses Gates an awful lot. Sure.
Why wouldn't you?
Look at this. 70 plays tonight. Dominated by the Chargers. Tomlinson running to the right. First and goal run just shy of the 4 with Champ Bailey making the tackle.
Yeah, I like that, Mike. Emphatically, you said to the right, because we have seen so many runs to the left. And by the way, you know, these numbers that I keep throwing out there, runs to the left, runs to the right, runs up the middle. And I want to say thanks to Steve Hurt. Does a great job with the numbers we get. Greg Cosell at NFL Films, my guys are that chart these games week in, week
Any
out.
more plugs? You started with Arena League?
Tony, people work hard all year long. I want to make sure they get recognized for
I'd
that
like to
great
thank
work.
my dentist.
LT out. Turner in. And Michael Turner. Just shy, marker down. Marker down back in the middle.
Jaws, I got to ask you, I don't ask that many football questions. What has happened to the Denver Broncos?
Well,
I mean, I understand San Diego's the story, and they're in the playoffs and so on and so forth.
Holding, number 68 offense, 10-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
That's the Pro Bowl guard, Chris Dealman. So if he got in or not does not matter.
What's happened?
Yeah, we've got a pretty good pulse in the Broncos. We've had them 4 times this season. And if you watch, as I zero in, where have they fallen apart? Defensive line. Interior of the defensive line has not played well. There's a trickle-down effect of that. Offensive linemen get in your linebackers. That means your linebackers aren't going to play well. Then you look at the offensive line. A lot of injuries. The guys that replaced the injured players have not played well. They're getting beat in the trenches. That's a bad recipe.
They're not competitive tonight.
Tonight they are not. I agree with you, Tony.
Tomlinson off the field again. Sproles is the back. Legadou Nane out of Boise State is the fourth receiver. And Rivers throws to Chambers. Breaks the play. Touchdown, San Diego.
That's a, once, as the phrase goes, the once proud franchise. The Denver Broncos are not competitive tonight. We're not competitive in Denver against San Diego. Lose in ways they have not lost before. And their head coach, Mike Shanahan, has 2 Super Bowl rings, so you know he knows what he's doing. You understand that. But they go out and get new players every single year, and last 2 years, it hasn't worked at all.
I still believe there's a nucleus of players on the Denver Broncos looking forward. They can once again be a competitive team a year from now. Yeah, they've got to make some adjustments.
The touchdown by Chambers, his 3rd of the year. Rivers 6 of 6 on the drive. Artists in their own regard. Thank you guys for another fabulous season.
How about Brett Favre sprinting down the field after an overtime touchdown pass?
Andre Hall. Hit at the 28-yard line by Steve Gregory, one of the defensive backs. Chris Chambers, 3rd touchdown of the season. He has 4 catches tonight. Away from our families on this holiday weekend. Chance for us to say thank you for letting those folks come do their great work. Selvin Young carries to the right, gains 2.5, maybe 3, and here's Susie Colbert.
Mike, it's the 2nd week in a row that Jay Cutler is getting beat up. So when I asked Mike Shanahan at the half, how do you protect your quarterback? He hesitated and said, good question, but it's got to start with the run. They're not respecting our run at all, and that's why we only have 3 first downs. But Jaws alluded to this. We know what Mike Shanahan would really like for Christmas. Last night we're talking to him, and he was coveting the offensive lines of the Patriots and the Cowboys.
That's right, Susie. He said, notice how you can see 2, 3, 4 hitches from those quarterbacks. And Romo and Brady get time and make plays. Selvin Young tries to get the edge. Brandon Marshall couldn't make the tackle, 2 yards shy of the first down.
Well, Susie's absolutely right. It starts up front, and I think that's the first area Mike Shanahan will address this offseason via free agency or the draft. He understands. You think of those great Bronco teams winning Super Bowls. It was about winning in the trenches. Tony, we've said enough tonight. They're getting killed because they're not winning the line of scrimmage.
Maybe he could buy those offensive linemen.
Maybe.
Maybe he can do that.
Third and 3. Cutler to Marshall. Brandon makes the catch and a first down. At the 49-yard line, Antonio Cromartie made the tackle. We mentioned Marshall, 21 catches in the last 2 games. It gives the Broncos their first down since the first quarter. When we visited with Brandon last night, you saw the potential, in addition to his ability, 87 catches now in the year, of a guy who could be a big-time player in this league. Tall, strong at 6'4", 230. Seems to have tasted some success in trying to find the maturity to run parallel with it to be a receiver who's in the Pro Bowl conversation in future years. And Cutler's pass is incomplete, intended for Javon Walker.
Just to follow that, going into this week in the NFL, the only players who were ahead of him in receiving yards were Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, Reggie Wayne, Chad Johnson, Braylon Edwards, and Larry Fitzgerald, which reads like a who's who of Pro Bowl players. So if you put Marshall in that sort of company, you think to yourself, wow, they've got a terrific wide receiver, and if Javon Walker then is healthy, then they're pretty good 1 and 2 over there.
Now, if you can protect the quarterback so you can get the ball to him, you have a chance.
Right.
Toss to Travis Henry. He's engulfed there at the 48-yard line. Igor Olshansky made the tackle. You know, back to Marshall for a second. He was telling us last night about a couple of incidents that he's become involved with the law out there in Denver. He blocked a cab, and it turned into a domestic violence charge that was eventually erased. And driving under the influence, Damian Nash, one of the Broncos who passed away in the offseason, Tony talked about at the start of the game. his widow came to Denver, and Damien's memory was honored. Marshall took her out and said, don't worry, I'll be the one driving. Ended up getting a DUI that last night. And he said, I've got to be mature. I've got to learn to take myself out of those situations if I want to be the kind of player I can be. And he also talked about how Rod Smith has taught him how to catch the slant and go. And he looked like the veteran receiver there. Gain of 28 and a first down.
You saw it all right there, Mike, when you talk about Brandon Marshall. Winning at the line of scrimmage first. You see Jammer try to get the jam. Not in bad position. Accurate throw. Yards after the catch. Just holding people for extra yards. The hands right there to snag that ball out of the air. The movement in space, making Clinton Hart miss. This is what Brandon Marshall brings to the table. This is why Mike Shanahan, Jay Cutler are excited about the future of this passing game.
And you saw earlier, only Wes Welker has more yards after the catch this year. Cutler for Walker. Cromartie there in coverage. Incomplete. Suze has more on Brandon Marshall.
Yeah, to follow up what you were saying, he insisted to us last night that it's time to grow up and be a leader on the team and in the community. He was thinking about it on the bus on the way to the hotel. It's New Year, time to take steps to change his life. And he realized he kept putting himself in a bad position. He wants to follow the dream he had since he was a junior in high school, to use football to touch kids. And while he has done community work, he realizes that the public perception is what everybody sees on TV and in the newspaper, and that hasn't been good. He knows it's time to learn from his mistakes.
Just look at LaDainian Tomlinson across the way. If you're good, you do have a chance to touch people. Cutler, Marshall, incomplete, third down. Marlon McCree over there in coverage with Quentin Jammer, and Sean Phillips had the pressure on the Bronco quarterback.
And pressure has been the buzzword for tonight, Mike. The San Diego Chargers defense has been outstanding, bringing the edge rush off the corner here. You see Phillips right there. Just whistles by. They had no chance, Eric Pears. Well, they're doing a good job. They're bringing their defensive ends down, sinking them on the guards. So that means the center and two guards have to block man-to-man. Now they bring the edge off the rush with Merriman and Phillips against tackles that, quite honestly, can't handle their quickness.
I look for the tight end, Scheffler down here. Cutler throwing. It is out of the hands of the tight end and intercepted by Clinton Hart down at the 13-yard line.
That's their season again, like it was their season in the first quarter. They go down the field. They look good. They try to get in. They do not score. This time it gets intercepted.
Flag down, post play. He had him. He threw it in a perfect spot for Scheffler. Drayton Florence
After the play,
covered.
personal foul. Number 32, intercepting team, throwing the quarterback to the ground. Half the distance. 1st and 10. Timeout.
That's Eric Weddle, the second-round pick out of Utah. Took the shot at Cutler. Long field, but the Broncos, again, don't score. The then Los Angeles Raiders up the road for 20 games and 200 plus with the Broncos. His team has never been shut out regular season. Only the elder Jim Mora has had more NFL games as a head coach without being shut out. His team's being shut out now. And the Chargers up 23 have changed quarterbacks. Billy Volek is in the game, and he does the handing off there on first down. Volek, who spent a good amount of time with the Tennessee Titans, had to play for Phillip Rivers in the game against the Titans that Rivers was hurt. In his 8th year out of Fresno State, age 31. Traded to the Chargers in 2006. Remember, it was week 2. The Chargers played the Titans, and they discussed the trade beforehand. Volek was backing up at that time, and then they decided to, after that week, make the deal. And Volek's been here as the number 2-6. Oh, mess up in the backfield. The ball's on the ground. And the Broncos say they have it. And they do. So Volek could not get the handoff clean with Rivers and Tomlinson out of the game. The fullback Andrew Pinnock may have been the one who getting in the way as Marcus Thomas, the rookie out of Florida, comes up with a recovery.
You'll see Pinnock in the backfield. He's going to be the lead blocker there, number 34. And Volek hits the elbow of Pinnock before handing the ball off to Turner.
So a chance here for the Broncos to get on the board. No Sean Merriman for the Chargers. He's gone back to the locker room, the Pro Bowler who had been battling a left knee injury. crowd urging the shutout to continue. Travis Henry submerged at the 5 by Marlon McCree.
Just a dominant performance by the defensive line and the linebackers of the San Diego Chargers. You know, we talked about the Denver defense, the lack of their discipline against LaDainian Tomlinson. When you watch this Charger defense, you see the outstanding fits of their defensive line linebackers. Then you add in the safeties in the running game. Clinton Hart gets a sack in the passing game. They are playing well as a unit.
Cutler. Marshall not allowed to get to the spot, asking for the flag, and it's not thrown. We'll have third down. You say it was rerouted by Quentin Jammer.
Cutler getting a bit frustrated right now. He shows very little emotion in our production meetings, but the players say he has it on the field. There was incidental contact on that play with Jammer.
The first jam was good with Quentin, and the second contact was after, but
I like a player who shows emotion in a production meeting. That's my personal choice.
I kind of like that, too.
Third and goal. Cutler threw a rocket. It was incomplete. He thought Glenn Martinez was going to keep going. Fourth down, a field goal attempt coming up, and a Bronco is injured on the play. It's Matt Lepsis, the starting left tackle, who tore a ligament in his knee in the 6th game last year. Lepsis is down. A field goal attempt coming as the Broncos try to get on the board.
In person in 4 of these shots so far.
No, you haven't. Jason Elam breaks John Elway's record, most games in Broncos history. He also gets Mike Shanahan to avoid a shutout, which he's never had. It's ironic because Elam and Shanahan, no kicker and coach combo, have ever had more points scored as a combo. Bryant and the Lakers. Our coverage begins at 2 Eastern with NBA Countdown on. We'll see you from Cleveland with our coverage beginning at 2 Eastern tomorrow on ABC. Matt Prater kicking off. And Darren Sproles makes 2-man miss, gets to the 32. Cecil Sapp the tackle. Here's Michelle Tafoya.
Well, we talked about Billy Volek coming into this game, and really, in a way, this is an audition for him. He becomes a free agent at the end of this season, and while he says the Chargers have been a phenomenal organization to him, it is hard for him not to look ahead at what might lie out there for free agency. He has seen, as we all have, Jaws, the dearth of the talent at the quarterback position here in the NFL across all the teams, and he sees an opportunity. But right now, he's trying to focus on these last 2 games. But this is a bit of an audition.
Michelle, you're absolutely right. You took the words right out of my mouth. A dearth of talent around the National Football League. We've had this discussion every week. It's hard to find 20 quality, consistent starters in this league right now.
Looks like LT's night is done. Sproles gets the carry for just a couple of yards. To Volek here for a second out of Fresno State. And that conversation Michelle brought up, I mentioned it to Billy on the field before the game, and he said, I just want to enjoy the next month or so, but it will be interesting when we get to January and February to see what happens. Yeah, just look at the league and the numbers Michelle talked about. 61 different men have started at quarterback in the NFL, with Troy Smith starting yesterday for Baltimore.
And there's a telling part of Billy's game that I like. 26 touchdowns, only 14 interceptions. He's played sparingly, but he's played well, and he protects the football.
Pass to Vincent Jackson, stood up at the line of scrimmage by Champ Bailey, one of those good corners on this Bronco team with Bailey and Bly. That was part of their story this year. They got corners who can cover all over the field. Man, things could be special for the Denver defense. Not so much.
And now you got to wonder, as general managers and personnel guys this offseason put together their teams, do you spend your money at the corner position? Really, there isn't the value in it if you look at what the Denver Broncos got out of this. They invest all their money in Bailey and Bly, and their defense right now is atrocious. It hasn't helped them.
Let's see if the Broncos defense can come up with a 3rd and 7 stop against Volek. Pass is incomplete, bouncing towards Sproles, so A 3-and-out, a turnover in the last possession, and San Diego will punt it away.
If that's an audition, by the way, so far, you'd hope you'd get more chances to sing and dance, because this hasn't been very good so far. If it was American Idol, they'd say, that's enough. That's enough.
You know what? You kill him about arena football,
American Idol bothers
you must be on Simon's payroll. It's ridiculous.
I don't mention the name.
Thank you, Michael.
It is a show I watch.
Which is fine. It's a great show. But you are on the payroll. Mike Cyphers kicking away from Martinez, who says, let it go, and it will stop down inside the 20. Down at the 17-yard level. To the Broncos defense, guys, let's take you across the last 3 years. 13 wins, 9 wins, and now they're looking like they'll be under 500. Second line across, points allowed. 3 more points last year from that championship, AFC championship year in 2005, getting to the title game. 7 more this year. And the rushing yards. Jaws, you talked about the defensive line.
Yeah, that's the key right there. 140 yards per game. You know, the point total at 26.2 is ridiculous. But as I study these guys on the coach's tape, how they're playing, poor gap control, poor tackling, poor pass rush, that equates to those poor numbers.
That 140 yards per game is 29th in the 32-team NFL. Marshall, Brandon, the catch in front of Quentin Jammer with a marker down. Close to a first down.
Shanahan fired the previous defensive coordinator last year, right? Larry Coyer.
That's
brought
correct.
in Jim Bates, and it's worse. It's worse this year, the defense. Significant.
Play looks like it'll be a first down. It looks like the flag's on San Diego.
Pass, holding, number 23 defense. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, 1st and 10, Denver.
Susie has an update from the Denver sideline.
Yeah, about the last thing the Broncos would need is an injury to the offensive line. You saw left tackle Matt Lepsis go down. He was poked in the eye. They're calling it probable. They have fitted him for a visor on his helmet. You know, they want to get him back in there. They played this season without Tom Nalen at summer. That's been tough.
Pass into heavy traffic. Scheffler says, I couldn't get to the ball because Stephen Cooper was in the way. Ref says second down.
Well, actually a surprise throw by Jay Cutler. I mean, Stephen Cooper was right in the passing lane. You got to see the throw. That's a throw that normally you're going to get picked off. And you be Jay Cutler right now. You're looking right down the middle. You've got to be able to see Stephen Cooper sitting right in front of Tony Scheffler. You get behind 23-3, you start forcing throws.
Second down, here's Selvin Young. Can't get out of the tackle from Matt Wilhelm. We mentioned at the start of the game that Jay Cutler's from Santa Claus, Indiana, 2.5 hours from Indianapolis, an hour west of Louisville. You see 47579 is the postal code, the zip code, and many people send items to Santa Claus to be postmarked there and sent out. The Cutler family lived in the Christmas Village neighborhood.
That's nice.
And there are roads there called Sleigh Bell Drive and Ornament Lane, and the Cutlers grew up. Jay's parents no longer live there. He grew up on Holly Lane.
Really? Where'd they move? San Diego? Like everybody else?
No, Evansville. Cutler out of the pocket. Going to keep the drive alive with a first down and pick up all the extra yardage and get out of bounds at the 47-yard line. Jay told us that the post office is just crazy in Santa Claus, Indiana during this time of year. He said they have a festival of lights during the year because almost everybody, you'd have to, if you live in Santa Claus, Indiana,
You have to have lights.
You got to put green lights up.
You have to have lights in Santa Claus, Indiana.
Mike's like the executive director of
get
Chamber of Commerce for
arrested
Santa Claus.
if they don't have lights in Santa Claus, Indiana. It's a violation of the town code. You go to jail.
Here they had 11 Pro Bowl players, won 14 regular season games with the disappointment of losing in the AFC playoff game to New England. Now trying to build momentum. The Chargers 15 minutes away from a 9th win in 11 games and being within 1 step of locking up the 3 seed as we go to the 4th quarter here on Christmas Eve in San Diego. Mike Tirico, Tony Kornheiser, Ron Jaworski, Michelle Tafoya, and Susie Colbert. We've seen LaDainian Tomlinson carry 19 times for 107 yards and a touchdown. The Broncos offense has struggled. The last 2 drives they've moved it. It's 1st and 10 to start the 4th. And Cutler's pass is complete to Chad Mustard, the 3rd tight end, a yard shy. Right at the first down marker, I beg your pardon, so it'll be close. It will be a first down now at the 37-yard line. Mentioned Denver is 6-8. San Diego trying to get to 10-5. And again, if the Chargers win tonight and win Sunday in Oakland, they will be the 3 seed, which means you play the last team in the playoffs, either Tennessee or Cleveland. Cutler takes off. A marker's down. Cutler runs away from Matt Wilhelm to the 16-yard line. A couple of flags down. 2 separate fouls, and they'll sort this one out.
Cutler's best offense is running the ball. He's probably gained more yards running the ball than he has passing.
Yeah, well, he's doing a good job of reading the coverage. When San Diego brings their 5-man rush, they're playing man-to-man behind it. So when Cutler breaks the pocket, he understands that. He knows the defenders have their back turned to him. He gets outside the pocket. He's got yards available to him.
As you saw, Cutler feeling the after effects of the end of the play.
Kneeling down.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both by the defense. Illegal contact. That penalty's declined. Holding. Number 31. 5 yards from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
And tack on is on Antonio Cromartie, and Cutler grabs a drink and heads back in. His backup Patrick Ramsey warming up for the moment, but Jay will stay on.
Cromartie in 6 starts, Mike. Isn't that amazing? 10 interceptions in 6 starts.
Cutler does not look good at the moment.
He had to run. You know, quarterbacks aren't used to running like 30, 40 yards unless you're Vince Young, Donovan McNabb, Jeff Garcia. Here's Antonio Cromartie, Pro Bowl selection. Gave some props to Bill Bradley, his secondary coach, and Kevin Ross, a couple guys that I'm very familiar with and played with. But Cromartie was very, very boastful of what they've done to make him a better football player, how coaching has really helped him. Film study, getting prepared for your opponent week in and week out.
3 multiple interception games, including a memorable 3-interception game of Peyton Manning and the Colts. After back-to-back 21-yard runs by Cutler, a high hit brings Selvin Young down after a gain of about 2 yards. Brandon McKinney in there. Here's the pick we were talking about. Remember this one-hander?
Oh, man.
Just one of the great grabs. All 3 interceptions coming in the first half, a night when there were a half dozen Peyton Manning interceptions, and Adam Vinatieri missed that short field goal, and San Diego had what on paper is its best win of the season in terms of the teams they've defeated this year, beating the Colts. Young's the back, 2nd and 7. And Cutler finds him. He pushes forward about a yard shy of the first down, 3rd and a yard and a half coming up.
Spinning this forward to the playoffs with San Diego, the people on the San Diego Chargers like to say that they're peaking at the right time and the playoffs are something they're very excited about. But you know what? They lost to New England. They lost to Green Bay. They lost to Minnesota, still alive in the playoffs. They lost to Jacksonville going in of their 5 losses. And those are very good teams. What makes them think they can beat good teams then in the playoffs when the good teams that they play have beaten them?
Because they've won 4 in a row. They're playing better. This could be their 5th win. All momentum is on their side.
You believe that?
Yes.
3rd and 2 for a first down, 3 for a touchdown, and Cecil Sapp tries to hammer it forward. Eventually stopped shy of the first down. It's been a very contentious night. A lot of post-play pushing. Well, 4th and about a half yard for the first down.
It's an interesting notion, Jaws, that they feel that last year, although they won a lot of games, 14 games, the last few games that they won, they weren't that good. And this year, they somehow think the Chargers think that they're better. Don't you want to win games?
They don't care what you think or what I think of Mike. It's what they believe. They believe they're a better football team. If you've got a coaching staff and the team going in and you believe you're better, you don't play better, even if you've lost.
4th down. Sapp again. Denied by Matt Wilhelm. And the San Diego defense continues its outstanding play tonight. And taking over from their own 3. Again, Billy Volek in for the last couple of drives, replacing Phillip Rivers. And the run from Michael Turner, shy of the 5. And here's a SportsCenter 30 at 30. Merry Christmas, Trey Wingo.
Thank you, Michael. Not so merry for Scott Skiles, fired as the Bulls head coach after a 9-16 season. No word on who the interim coach is going to be, but we should know by Wednesday when they play the San Antonio Spurs. Head coach Tom Coughlin of the Giants sidestepping questions today on whether or not the Giants will go all out and play all their starters as they play the Patriots and try and stop their run at a perfect season. SportsCenter at the game. Stay current on ESPN News. Merry Christmas, guys.
Thank you, Trey.
Trey.
Same to you, Trey.
You and the rest of the NFL Live, NFL Primetime crew. You guys do a great job all season and all the way through the playoffs as well. 2nd and 8. Turner for 2 and down to Suits.
Well, guys, you've been talking about throughout the night wanting to see emotion from Jay Cutler. Well, you've got it because nothing has gone his way tonight. He's getting beat up. It's not his fault, and it's come in spurts, but there is tremendous frustration. He came off the field the last time yelling at coaches, threw down his helmet, picked up his cap, and then walked as far away as he could toward the end of the bench just to collect himself and calm down. But you could just see it brewing all night long.
Well, he doesn't give us a lot when you sit and talk to him. It's just his personality, his type. But Brandon Marshall was very effusive last night. I know he's a leader. As a matter of fact, Cutler's the guy who's organizing himself and Brandon Marshall and the tight end Tony Scheffler to work out together in Atlanta this offseason. So there is that leadership there, although we may not see it the way we do from Phillip Rivers. Sproles the carry for about 3. And the Chargers will punt it away at the 10-minute mark.
It seemed to me he's got every reason to be upset tonight. He's getting banged around. His offensive line isn't helping him at all.
Well, and here's a young quarterback that is carrying the burden of his football team. We think of the great Bronco teams. We think of that stretch running game, run the football, then the play action game, the bootlegs, the waggles to get outside the pocket. Just don't see that. The running game is just not there.
Well, you think of John Elway, and everybody has to be compared to John Elway, and he started probably about 20 games, you know, and he bears that burden all the time. Is he going to be the one who's as good as Elway? That's tough.
No,
Nobody's
very
as good
few
as
will be
Elway.
as good as Elway. You know, he's one of the best of all time.
When you talk about San Diego, good things in the playoffs, special teams. This guy's a great punter in Cyphers. 47-yard kick there, no return. Been no surrender for Cutler tonight. Chargers are the champions of the AFC West. Pittsburgh champions of the AFC North, but the Chargers have a 1-game advantage if they hold on to this win in the conference games tiebreaker, which is why they would be the 3 seed, Pittsburgh the 4, if the 2 teams have the same record. Pass to Brandon Marshall, incomplete. Quentin Jammer on the coverage. It'll be 2nd down.
Here's Norv Turner. The pressure is on Norv Turner. He had a long time in Washington. I covered him for 7 years. He only made the playoffs once. He had a short time in Oakland. He walked into a plum job here. 14-2 last year. Team that a lot of people thought were favorites to win the Super Bowl. Got knocked out in their first game at home. Norv Turner needs to win the home playoff game here to justify bringing him in. And he's sitting in the best position he's ever sat in as a head coach in the league.
The 46, Javon Walker, the catch, a gain of 4.
They're going to go 5-0 now in their last 5 games. And Jaws, you think that it only matters if they believe in themselves. They've reasonably, if they're winning all the games at the end of the season, it's not, you know, it's not who you play, it's how you're playing.
And I believe they're starting to believe in Norv Turner. Norv's not a Marty Schottenheimer.
He's not an orator
on his sleeve.
Right,
he's going to give you. He's an organized guy. He loves to coach. That's what he does.
And
he
he's
has
had
an
great success with offenses wherever he has gone. But it's a great job to walk into. I mean, look at most guys who get head coaching jobs in this league take over bad teams. This year, 3 guys got terrific jobs. Wade Phillips came into Dallas, which was a good job. Mike Tomlin came into Pittsburgh, which was a good job. But nobody walked into as good a job as Norv Turner did, and that was surprising given the previous record.
But the barometer will be is what he does in the playoffs.
Playoffs.
Playing well right now. You said it all night.
After Cutler's 3rd down incompletion, they go for it on 4th. Protected for the moment. Cutler out of the pocket. Has it knocked down by Luis Castillo. His ability to come in here in these passing situations gives the Chargers one more reason to believe about the postseason. He's fired up to be back on the field for the first time in a month and a half. Back here in San Diego. And Michelle, not exactly holiday cheer in the air down there.
No, absolutely not. Grinches down here. Cutler failing to convert on 4th down. And look at Phillip Rivers starts jawing with him. You can see Phillip in the distance. Here you get a closer look with Matt Wilhelm, the linebacker, waving bye-bye. A couple guys actually pointing and talking. A lot of talking between both sides all night, but this was the nastiest I saw.
Rivers, I don't know if you're saying "atta baby" or what he was saying with Sean Phillips. I don't know. You never know, but That's bizarre to see. And even after this play, had more pushing and shoving here. It's contentious, but I don't know, Jaws. That doesn't strike me as cool.
No, it's not cool, but we know this is an AFC West. I'm sorry, Tony, I said NFC West earlier. The AFC West battle. These teams do not like each other, and obviously there's going to be some bad blood for a long time between two terrific young quarterbacks, Jay Cutler and Phillip Rivers. That was nasty right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Peyton Manning doesn't do that, does he?
That was nasty.
Tom Brady doesn't do that, does he?
That's what I'm saying.
Brett Favre?
That's going to make some storylines.
Bullock handing to Turner. And again, you see that. See, this is still going on here, back and forth.
Has Phillip
sideline to sideline
won enough games to be able to do this? If Peyton Manning and Brett Favre and Tom Brady don't do this, has Phillip Rivers won enough games to do that?
But also, not to get away from your question, but Champ Bailey was talking in our meeting last night, you know, how much he now dislikes Phillip Rivers. They used to be buds. They're not anymore.
Steel cage, baby.
Hey,
that's what's next.
That's what it's
Steel
all about.
cage.
That's football. This is not touch. This is...
Did you ever do that when you were just say bye, baby, to anybody in the NFC East?
Absolutely.
You did?
Yeah.
Do we have that on tape?
Probably not.
Bullock will be brought down. Won't be a sack. It'll be a half-yard gain. So Elvis Dumervil will not get credit for his 12th sack of the season.
Who did you do that with?
There are a lot of things I regret that I did when
Did you do that with
the
Phil
heat of
Simms?
battle.
Did you call him out?
No, I didn't call him a baby. Like the least I read his, I had great respect for Phil and Joe and Danny White and Roger Staubach, guys I played against. But in the heat of battle, I mean, sometimes you lose it a bit.
Wow, Jaws. Side of you we didn't know.
Well, my wife said there was Ron A and Ron B. And I was the nice, friendly guy that with you and Mike. And
there's Type A and Type A. Cyphers with the kick. Clint Martinez, the fair catch. Just for the record, that was officially a sack for 0 yards. So Dumervil does get sacked 12th of the year.
Look,
Merry Christmas to all. And to all, good night. In San Diego, where the Chargers have had control of a game at home for the second straight week. Not as dominant as the 51-14 win over Detroit last week, but a game that has seen some nastiness here with both sides continuing the conversation. It's a cumulative 64-6 beating that the Chargers have put on John Lynch and the Broncos. John Lynch had a lot of great days in this stadium as a Charger fan growing up at Torrey Pines High School, playing for the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl here. Cutler throws for Javon Walker, incomplete, and he got hit at the very end of the play by Jordan Beck. No penalty marker, but asking John Parry for a flag as he got hit at the very end of the play.
Yeah, and you'll see Cutler here get rid of the football, but Wilhelm on the blitz pushes him to the ground after he throws the football, and Jay gets up, and he's looking for the flag, not getting it.
What do you think Cutler did to engender this reaction from the San Diego players?
See, that's the thing you don't know. You don't know what's happened in the 2 games in this rivalry all the way through. So you can never just say that one thing you saw on tape is what happened. They got after Cutler again at the end of that play. It's complete to Javon Walker.
But it does seem personal, doesn't it?
This has been happening, if you watched each play, at the end of every play, there's been the extra push, the extra nudge. And Cutler continues the conversation with Sean Phillips.
See, and you look at the guys in the blue jersey, those are the Chargers. They're all smiles around their sideline. They went in comfortably in this game.
Well, they try to go quick to get the first down. You can even see on the back end of the pile, Giles Tucker trying to yank Cutler's leg. See that? Not pretty. One team frustrated, one team rubbing it in.
Illegal shift on the offense. 2 men moving at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
For those of you just tuning in, just getting back from your Christmas Eve celebrations, checking out TV tonight, Cutler has struggled. The struggle is really because of an offensive line that has been manhandled by the Chargers tonight. Tomlinson did most of his work early, 19 carries, 107 yards, and the touchdown that put San Diego on top, 10-0. They had 3 field goals. The Tomlinson touchdown in the first half took the opening drive of the 3rd quarter downfield. It was 23-0. The only way Denver has scored was on a 4-play, 2-yard field goal drive in the third quarter. 3rd and 6. Nearly intercepted by Eric Weddle. Probably the safety of the future for the Chargers. Remember, they moved up, trading us 2, a 3, and a 5 to go get him on draft day. That Tomlinson touchdown, by the way, tonight, guys, 128. He passed Jim Brown and Walter Payton in one fell swoop last week. Wow. And only T.O., Chris Carter, Marshall Faulk, Marcus Allen, Emmitt Smith, and Jerry Rice ahead of him. Look at the seasons. Doing it in 7 seasons. Astonishing numbers.
He is a very special player.
Paul Ernster, another poor kick. He has struggled here tonight. And it goes out of bounds at about the 44-yard line.
Look at the company that LaDainian Tomlinson in the way that they knew Jim Brown and Walter Payton.
Give him time.
Darren Sproles the carry. Good job to squeeze through the hole. It's just past midfield. Gain of 7. Here's Michelle.
I talked to LaDainian, you guys, about passing Walter Payton and passing Jim Brown, and he said it was a little overwhelming. He said Walter Payton was the reason he wanted to be a football player in the first place. Since the time he was 5 years old, he said, I was attracted to his grace and style, both on and off the field. So when I passed him, I was passing my idol, and that was overwhelming. And Jim Brown, he said exactly what you guys did. He's the man, the best ever. That was an incredible feeling.
He's been able to reach out in some ways in conversations with Brown. And when he won the Walter Payton Award, winning it with Drew Brees last year, visited with Walter Payton's widow, Connie, and his 2 children. There are the most touchdowns per game in the history of the league for guys who played 100 games in LT. And when you look at how small the number is, 1 point something, to be a 10th ahead is significant. And of Jim Brown, Sean Alexander, Don Hudson, and Priest Holmes. Now, we know offense has evolved in this era of football, but so many of the passing numbers have become inflated, and that's made it even harder in some ways to amass all-time great rushing numbers because of the way people throw the ball now. As Volik's pass is incomplete, it's headed for Kasim Osgood. And it gives even more reason to pause and appreciate what Tomlinson has done. And Tony, I understand your point, playing out here in San Diego, not winning a playoff game, but we've seen him on 60 Minutes this year. We've seen him in more commercials and some really good and fun commercials. I think last year's 31 touchdown season really brought LaDainian Tomlinson to the forefront more.
I'm just, and I think you would agree, if he played in a place like Chicago or New York, you know, he would be much more of a household name at this point.
It's actually, in some ways, nice to have a great player who's also terrific in the community, who's not overexposed in this day and age, you know? Glenn Martinez, fair catch of the Cyphers, punt at the 12.
But you look, for example, Reggie Bush comes into the league in a much higher profile circumstance, right, than LaDainian Tomlinson has even now after 7 years. Some of that is marketing, I'm sure, going to USC and being drafted by New Orleans and such a big hubbub about that. But, you know, LaDainian Tomlinson is someone who it seems is deserving of the attention and the praise.
You're talking about celebrity.
Yes,
right. I'm talking about
football.
Performance.
Right,
you know,
right.
Yeah, very few
but I think
guys
they go hand in hand.
Yeah. I don't necessarily agree with that, but you guys, I look at the guy as a football player. I don't think there's anybody better.
No, he's great.
Maybe not everyone knows about him around the country. That's celebrity.
Well, they know. They know. They know. Wait, who was the top pick in everybody's fantasy draft? Larry Johnson or LT, right? Sure. First down catch to Mustard, a gain of 10, and the Broncos with 3:44 to go. Trying to find their way to get 1 touchdown against the Chargers this year. Rare you see a Mike Shanahan team go up against a division opponent and come up with no touchdowns.
That's amazing.
In 2 games.
Amazing.
Really,
you know, Mike Shanahan, through the years, I thought is one of the best designers of offense, can manufacture points. Hasn't got a touchdown against the Chargers in 2 games.
To that point, Denver's never had a division opponent, as the ball's put on the ground, never had a division opponent where they didn't score a touchdown against them in that season. Here's Susan.
Well, once the Broncos were eliminated from playoff contention, then the big story became, will this be it for John Lynch? He insists he is not thinking about it right now. In fact, the subject is banned at his house, although his wife Linda has been so supportive, and she's a great athlete herself, so she certainly understands and wouldn't want him to retire prematurely because she knows he'd be miserable. But he did explain that he has a clear-cut criteria. He's got to be playing at a high level. He has to have passion. He's got to be healthy, and he admitted he is not a good role player. He gets angry when he has to come off the field, so that could certainly play into it.
Pass to Brandon Marshall is complete, Susan. If Marshall gets a first down to the 35, it was Lynch who spoke to Jay Cutler about needing to step up and become more of a leader as this season went on. John Lynch's leadership on the field, the Pro Bowler, really became in that Tampa 2 defense that has become the vogue around the league. Such a defining safety, part of the Buccaneers team that won the Super Bowl here, 20 minutes from Falcon Field at Torrey Pines High School, where he grew up playing, where he was a quarterback, of course. And there you see his Bronco story, 2004 through 2007. You know, he might end up in Canton in the Hall of Fame.
No, he will end up in Canton.
He's already in Cooperstown in the Baseball Hall of Fame. He threw the first pitch for the Florida Marlins organization. He was a great baseball player. And the cap from that is in Cooperstown. So they may do the Cooperstown-Canton.
So we got to get him to Springfield, too, to find out what he can do with a basketball.
2-minute warning in San Diego.
Mike?
Yeah, but I'll be working with LeBron tomorrow at the Cavs game. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, guys, and everyone back in the studio. A reminder that ABC doubleheader. And then right after that, Bowl Week kicks in here on ESPN. Bowl games throughout the week. Some terrific games leading up to the Rose Bowl game in Pasadena on New Year's Day on ABC. Intercepted for the Chargers, Quentin Jammer, a guy who has trouble hanging on to the ball during all of his days at Texas or with the Chargers, comes up with the INT. His first pick of the year will bring business to a close here in San Diego. So the Chargers will get the win and move to 10-5 on the year.
Quentin Jammer, really good interceptions. He normally has horrible hands.
Cutler just walked off the field, walked all the way back to the bench alone and sat down.
Well, what else are you going to do? Been one of those nights, been one of those years for the Denver Broncos.
So the 10-5 Chargers will get the 3 seed if they win at Oakland on Sunday. Pittsburgh awaiting. And the difference between the 3 and the 6 is you play, if you're the 3, Tennessee or Cleveland. And remember, Tennessee gave San Diego a heck of a game in Nashville. As you see, their interceptions now,
wow,
the most in 22 seasons. And the other part of getting the 3 seed is you would avoid New England until the championship game, but I don't see many people getting in line to play Peyton Manning and the Colts either.
Tony, you think the Patriots going to go undefeated since you started this back in week 3?
Before you do that, GMC Monday Night Football post-game coming up. You see the stories there.
Yes, I think they will, Charles. Yes,
I think you said that back in April, did you not?
I did. When they got the receivers, I said they'd go 16-0 and 19-0.
You all said the Dolphins would not win a game, so I just thought I'd throw that out there. You were wrong on that one. They won one.
Hey, guys, while we have a second, this will be the last snap. A thank you to Jay Rothman, our producer, Chip Keene, our director, and all the women and men of our Monday Night Football crew. You've seen their pictures throughout the day here, but they are our family away from our true families, and they are special people who make this an absolute treat to do and are honored to carry on the greatest tradition in American television sports, Monday Night Football, as we're bringing the curtain down on the 38th season of this great series.
So Norv Turner smiling. He's happy. He's won 5 in a row. He's going to get a home game in the playoffs, right, Charles?
And he's got to win one.
If he wins that home game in the playoff, his entire reputation is elevated as a head coach. He's a nice man. I hate to say that because you know that I'm Dr. Zoom, man. But he is a nice man.
Guys, Morgan Freeman's going to star in the movie The Bucket List, coming to theaters soon. He's going to help take us off the air with a wrap-up of our season. But thank you, guys. It's been an absolute treat throughout these 20 games on Monday Night Football 2007. Chargers moved to 10-5, Broncos 6-9. And on behalf of Susie Colbert, Michelle Tafoya, Jaws, Tony, our entire crew, Mike Tirico, thank you for watching this presentation of ESPN.
Tackle football contested in San Diego. Broncos in town. Jay Cutler, native of Santa Claus, Indiana. First quarter, no score, as often is the case. Cutler trying to throw, trying to run, trying not to fumble, but he did. Chargers recover. We look again. Igor Olshansky comes in, makes the strip. Sean Merriman is all over the football. Chargers have it. And here they go. 2nd and 2 now at their own 36. Tomlinson, he's a good runner. Cross that yellow line and then some. 16 yards, first down in the Broncos territory. Same drive, 2nd and 10. Tomlinson goes left side, hit hard by John Lynch. In fact, he ripped off Tomlinson's helmet. He should have snapped it on better. Lynch was penalized 15 yards, not for taking the helmet off, but for throwing it. That would lead to a Chargers field goal. They actually kicked Tomlinson's helmet on the field goal. 3 points there. Chargers possession here, 3rd and 8. Phillip Rivers playing well in this one. Chris Chambers, 30-yarder. It's first down at the 12. Now 2nd and 15 for the 17. They backed up Tomlinson, a little juke, and on in for the score. 10-0 Chargers. We must look again with fancy animation. First, line opens up a big hole, kind of a Mark Schlereth kind of hole. Tomlinson reaches the 2nd level, throws off Dominic Foxworth with the juke, gets a block from Chambers, 19 carries, $7, the touchdown. 2nd quarter, Chargers are out front 13-0. It's 3rd and 11. And Rivers for Vincent Jackson had time. Nice little throw in between the safety and corner. Leads to a Nate Kading's 3rd field goal of the game at 16-0. Rivers wants more. Antonio Gates, always a good receiver to throw to. Nice touch on the corner route. 24-yard play. First down at the 37. Gates, the one-handed grab, gets it in control. 2nd and goal from the 14. Rivers, Chris Chambers coming underneath. And did he get in? I don't know. Yeah, he got in. 23-0. Broncos come at it. 3rd and 10 at the San Diego 21. And Cutler from Santa Claus, Indiana. It's picked off. Clinton Hart. Cutler's 2nd turnover of the game. 23-0. Broncos did get the field goal. Void the shutout. It's 23-3 here. 4th and 1 at the San Diego 2. Cecil Sapp stopped behind the line by Matt Wilhelm. Broncos offense ineffective. The Chargers doing okay here. 23-3. With one more win in the finale, the Chargers, after that awful September, can wrap up the 3 seed. Phillip Rivers was 17 out of 25, 2nd straight game with a passer rating over 100. A lot of folks thought he's the liability, but he's playing well late in the season. LT always plays well, and he was with our Susie Colbert.
Danian Tomlinson and the Chargers, another big win over a division rival. What's it like out there against these guys?
It's a heated rivalry. You know, it's been like that for a while. The last few years, we've battled back and forth between the division. And I tell you what, whenever we play these guys, we know we got to come to play.
As of now, you are the NFL's leading rusher. What's it like to accomplish that at this point against these guys?
Well, it's always tough. You know, it's been a long season for us. You know, but to be at this point right now, we're very pleased. Still got one more game to go before we get to the playoffs.
And how much does it mean to you to hang on to that title going into the last week?
It would mean a lot, you know, especially with the adversity we've had this season. You know, I know the offensive line want it. You know, I definitely want it. So we'll see what happens next week.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
The Chargers were up 10-0 after the first quarter Monday night. That is not anything new. They've outscored their opponents 81-0 at home in the first quarter this season. More than doubled their opponents' total yardage. They got a +5 turnover margin in those first quarters.
All right, GMC post-game coverage with Mark Schlereth. You must have been a bad boy this year, because I know for Christmas all you wanted was some respectability out of your Broncos.
Yeah, and we can't get that. We got a lump of coal instead, didn't we?
You're a bad boy. So let's talk about the good guys, the Chargers. We all know about LaDainian Tomlinson, another 100-yard game. The NFL's leading rusher now after playing just one half. But the San Diego defense seems to be in fine form.
You know what? There's been a lot of problems in San Diego, especially early in the season, but this defense is one that has rectified itself early in the season, playing a lot of soft coverage, sitting back, not being the aggressors. What you've seen, they've changed that. They have been constant pressure over the last few weeks, really revamping that defense, getting off the edge. You see the blitz right here. Look at this. Running back try to get up there and not, oh no, that's not going to work for you right there. Awesome play by the San Diego Chargers. And again, where are we going to err? If we're going to err, we're going to err on the side of aggressiveness. Here you go. Sean Phillips off the edge. You can't even touch him. He's so quick, lightning quick. That's what the San Diego Chargers defense has been able to do. In doing that, They've been able to create turnovers. They've been able to create constant pressure on the opponent's quarterback. This is a revamped defense, an aggressive defense that really has changed things up for the San Diego Chargers.
That Charger defense, by the way, did not allow a touchdown in either game against the Broncos. Not one in their season series. You mentioned the early season problems for San Diego. Remember last year, Chargers really coasted through the regular season, had the flame out in the playoffs. This year, dealing with adversity early on, building momentum, hitting their stride as they go towards the playoffs. Do you see that being a big factor in the postseason?
Well, certainly it's a big factor. They're on their stride, and they're really playing well right now, controlling both lines of scrimmage, and that's important. Defensively, we saw that. Offensively, with LaDainian Tomlinson, we know what he can do. They've been very good there. There's one thing that does concern me, though. It's red zone scoring. They settled for 3 field goals tonight. That's not going to get it done in the playoffs. When you play in the playoffs, you're not playing the Denver Broncos, a team that is just bereft of talent right now. You're playing teams that are very good and teams that can stop you. So you've got to be able to find a way to create a little bit more excitement, a little bit more explosion down in the red zone. That's what they're going to need. You can't settle for field goals in the playoffs in the red zone.
Last thing, Mark, we'll hit you with this. The value of the 3 seed, okay? Should they lock it down with a win next week? All they have to do is beat Oakland. Hearing some differing opinions on this. Some people say, hey, you got to beat everybody if you're going to go to the Super Bowl anyway. But the 3 seed, you avoid Jacksonville, avoid going at New England, at least in the second playoff game.
Right.
What about the value in that?
Well, I mean, there's obviously value in that. Jacksonville playing really well, and you always look at teams, which team is coming into the playoffs and playing exceptionally well, which teams are struggling. You'd much rather have a team that's basically either backing in or fighting for their lives to get in and not being very good. But listen, when it comes to the playoffs, unless you're the number 1 overall seed, and I've been that several times in my career, I don't remember any other seed. I remember being number 1 overall. Beyond that, you got in, and it's time to go play. So I don't really think the San Diego Chargers are really looking to go, boy, we really need that 3 seed. They just want to be in, and they want to get their business done.
Merry Christmas, buddy.
You too, buddy.
Mark Schlereth.
That's why he's in the Pro Bowl.
Same drive, it's Rivers to Chambers over the middle, and Chambers lunges in for the touchdown. Chargers in control, 23-0. Broncos ensuing drive. Jay Cutler, his pass goes in and out of the hands of Tony Scheffler. Clinton Hart intercepts the pass. Nice play here.
Nice play. Should have caught that ball. Good throw by Jay, but you got to make that catch.
Bad night for Cutler.
So Billy Volek now in at quarterback as Rivers had done enough, but he fumbles the exchange with Michael Turner. Marcus Thomas recovers. Broncos out at a field goal, 23-3. San Diego still in control. Same score in the 4th. Cutler cannot find anybody open. It was a reoccurring theme. Picks up 21 yards on the scamper. And a holding penalty on Antonio Cromartie would add 5 more yards. Cecil Sapp runs up the middle, picks up 1 yard. Next play now, it's Sapp again. And he's wrapped up again on a 4th and 1. So the Chargers could be gelling at the right time. And then towards the end of the game, a lot of jawing going on between Jay Cutler and the Chargers bench, in particular Phillip Rivers there. Champ Bailey made a comment earlier in the week that Phillip Rivers has not done enough in the league to be talking as much as he does. So apparently he talks on the football field, and that set off both teams here. The Chargers, though, incidentally, they won the football game. They're 10-5, and they have won 5 straight, and they are trying to have control of that 3rd seed in the AFC.
I liked what we did in terms of the balance offensively. Defensively, I think we just keep getting better. You know, we're still a real young team, and we can keep improving, and that's what we need to do. Keep improving each week, you know, and get ourselves ready to make a run.